The way that I think about Qualcomm, Cristiano, is that it's one of the most interesting transition stories in semiconductors, probably since NVIDIA, right? The business right now, smartphone, is under pressure. The market is focused on that. Let's get it out the way. You know, how long does that pressure rise? What is the mainstay of the pressure? Is it in production? Is it on the pricing side? Tell me what you see.
Yes. So look, let's step back a little bit. What's happening with the handset market, and there's a handset market and there's a unique Qualcomm thing. Happening in the handset market is there are unprecedented memory prices and shortage. I think the price increases are very dramatic, as everybody know. I think you're seeing not only Qualcomm talking, you see some other companies talking about it, you see Apple talking about it. Therefore, I think what happened in the market is down. We actually project, and just when we think about from 26 to 27, the market's going to be down by about 20%. This is not because of demand for phones. This is because of there is not enough memory. The prices are so high, so the units are much lower. Consumers are kind of react to the lower price. The middle and the low part of the market, it's significantly contracted. The premium tier has some resilience, but even in the premium tier, what we see is a mix change. Consumers are preferring with the new prices that are higher to buy last year phone. They buy the entry premium, and I think that's actually causing this change in the market. There's a unique thing about Qualcomm, which is well understood, which is Apple's coming off the model, and is actually coming out faster because of the supply situation. So that is the situation in the short term. That is what's causing this issue. And it came out in the earnings reflected in two things. I think a weakness on handsets. We actually did the following disclosure. We talk about it. There's about $1.50 in earnings power that it's now will come back to Qualcomm when handsets normalize. And it is the overall market is down. It's not a demand issue. It's memory prices and supply. So that's the handset story. And that it reflected in earnings in two pieces, right? You saw, I think, the weakness on the guide, which is a market weakness, a mix change. And then there's gross margin. The gross margin is very simple. We're slightly below the operating model of the company because input costs are up. In a shortage, and we've seen this during the pandemic, the entire semiconductor industry right now is at full capacity. So costs go up. We're adjusting pricing, but you have contracts, you have new design cycles, so there's a mismatch in quarters between the price adjustment and the cost. That creates this temporary, I think, issue on the slightly decline on the gross margin, and we're going to go back as prices flow through the model in the handsets. We're going to go back to the operating model. The exciting thing about the company is the new business and how we're actually transforming the company,
well,
as you pointed out.
Let's talk about it. In the past, we've called it diversifying. I called it transition, but I read the earnings presentation slides. So you're saying in full year 27, non-handset is just under 50%. And by full year 29, that handset business, which is the majority today, is only 1/3. Of data center, automotive, and IoT, what pushes that most?
Yes. So this is a great question. So if you actually look what's happening with the company, everybody knows about this Apple transition on a handset, and then all of the growth that we've been doing with everything we did to transform the company. A couple of things that are actually driving this change. We actually talk about from this year, fiscal 26 to next year, growth is going to be 60% on non-handset. And the driver is automotive. We actually, in the earnings call, said we're exit rate now, we're about $1 billion higher for 27 than we actually thought. It's continued to accelerate because of our position. Automotive is getting stronger. We have now more assisted driving and autonomy silicon and evolving over stack. The second thing is this beginning of the data center ramp. We still restated $5 billion in data center revenue in fiscal 27. And the IoT is starting to grow. On industrial, there's a lot of this conversation about open weight models, about AI on the edge. On industrial, in this fiscal year alone, we have about $3.5 billion of design win pipelines. So all of those things are going to go to, the projection that we made of $40 billion of non-handsets by fiscal 29. And you're going to see a 60% year-over-year increase on all of those new business, durable revenue, durable earnings, doesn't have the physical things on handsets, and I think that's really the future story of Qualcomm.
This is Bloomberg Tech, live on Bloomberg Television and Bloomberg Radio, and we're speaking to Qualcomm President and CEO Cristiano Amon. It wasn't that long ago we were talking at Investor Day where you laid out a $15 billion plus a data center opportunity through to 29. How's that going? I know it's been just a few weeks or months, but what progress have you made?
Yes, it's going very well. The most important milestone for us right now, I think, look, we outlined that we build a roadmap that has products coming over a couple of years, right? We've been very clear how the roadmap is evolving. So the first set of revenues, which actually is the majority of the $5 billion that is happening right next year, it's a custom ASIC with two hyperscalers. Everybody asks us about who they are. The only thing I can say at this point is one in the United States, one in China.
Right.
But the most important thing is when you think about the composition, the $15 billion, it has custom ASIC, but it has our accelerator, has our new high bandwidth compute, which is a new memory architecture, and it has our CPU. So the exciting thing is we're going to have in a couple quarters, we have progressing with the development. In a couple quarters, we'll have silicon on the HPC that we're going to make people will be able to evaluate, I think, the performance claims. And I expect that is actually going to create even more interest than what we have today within the $15 billion.
Cristiano, the way that I look at Qualcomm as well, like on the smartphone side, Android in China, and then when I'm thinking about the data center, I'm trying to understand where the biggest opportunity is. So geographically, China or US, and then there's ASICs or your own products. Try and put them in order for me of priority.
Yes. When we provided the $15 billion number for fiscal 29, it's kind of well balanced across custom ASIC with hyperscalers. It's especially for new entrants, you should expect a lot of bespoke development. It's very well balanced on the CPU, which will start ramping in 2028, and the accelerator in HPC. But also, when we talk about HPC and the accelerator, HPC is actually part of some of custom ASICs deployments as well. As far as China, you should expect that our exposure to China, the data center, will be very similar as a percentage of data center revenue to all of the other semiconductor providers that are in the data center business today. China it's a big market. It's just a function of GDP, and when you look at some of the data centers, especially the providers of custom ASIC, they have exposure to China. Ours is going to be about the same percentage.
Understood. Software. You closed the acquisition of Modular. You have some ownership in the software stack. People don't talk about that as much, maybe, but where does that fit in your strategy, Cristiano?
Yes, I am super happy about this, and one of the reasons I'm very happy about this is not everybody understands it, so I'll be able to brag about it a few years in the future. But the exciting thing about this is a great team. I think they have an incredible track record. The founder and CEO and his co-founder have a track record about what they have done in the Apple Swift programming language, the inventor LLVM, I think the developing the Tesla Autopilot, and they put on a mission to create a open platform for AI that scale from edge to cloud. It's a modern stack development, and we're very excited about what we'll do for Qualcomm and actually for the whole industry. I think we're really committed to provide that open platform for the whole industry. The interest has been incredible, including from other semiconductor companies, and we're just going to be executing. The good thing about all this, Ed, nobody asks me anymore about, I'm worried about your software capabilities in the data center. I think this is an incredible acquisition.
Just super quick, the second half of this year, very quick, smartphone deteriorates, or you see signs that it improves over what timeline?
Yes, the important thing, what we stated before, the Q3 quarter is the bottom for China Android. That's still the case. We will see sequential growth on Android in China. We will see it. Having said that, the market is down. I think it's not a demand issue. Consumers actually want, there's demand to buy phones. It's just this memory prices and supply. So you should expect the market to continue to be suppressed, even though I think we called the bottom on Q3, and that is still the case.